Namaskar. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. First of all, my grateful thanks to the Rajiv Gandhi National Institute for Youth Development and Indian Council for Cultural Relation for giving me this opportunity to participate in this August conference. Well, the topic is already mentioned. With the permission of the chairperson of this session, I would like to proceed with my presentation. I'm talking from my mobile. My computer is not somehow working with the Cisco, so I couldn't bring my presentation online. I'll go through the points. My content outline, I have outlined my content in the following way. First, I'll be talking a little bit about what we understand by Buddhist philosophy in general from education perspective. And the second is youths. How do we understand youth? Who is youth? And then the third is what are the conditions of youths in Nepal, their scope, issues and challenges. And then Buddhist perspective regarding the question of life by the youths. And then we will be concluding with some future actions that we are undertaking. Let me start by saying Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Ratnatriyaya. Actually, these three important aspects, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, they put Buddhist philosophy in a very beautiful way, like jewels, three jewels, in a very simple, understandable aspect. As we have already discussed also, that Buddha is the one who has attained Samyak Sambodhi, a stage of enlightenment that embodies knowledge, wisdom, and compassion towards all. So Buddha is not only a person, but Buddha is also a great concept, a very eternal concept, combining knowledge, wisdom, and compassion. Buddha is the one who has attained Samyak Sambodhi, a stage of enlightenment, and that's why Buddha is considered as earlier. Earlier Buddha was called Light of Asia. Now the world is discovering that in fact Buddha is the light for the world, for the people. And Dharma is the law and ethics for realization of the duties and responsibilities that follow from Samyak Sambodhi Gyan. Whoever has Samyak Sambodhi Gyan, his understanding of the duties and the responsibilities and ethics automatically becomes the Dhamma that will take us from dukkha to a situation where there is dukkha nivarana. And Sangha is endeavoring to practice Dharma, living and sharing together. It's a formation of community, it's a formation of society. So this is the way Buddha has, in a very simple way, taught humanity how we can move ahead. Although Buddha's knowledge, Buddha's vision of the world, Buddha's vision of life, it's beyond explanation within few days or even few years. Three jewels that he started as Dharma Chakra Pravardhan, it's a great that we can all understand and make it understood by others also in a simple way. This is exactly why Buddhism is attracting people all across different kinds of people, values, religion, even nations. Like a strong magnet, it is attracting people. It is simply because its central philosophy emphasizes on the fact that you are entirely responsible for what you are, what you do, and what consequences, instead of putting fate or boon or blessing or wrongdoing. This is the religion. Many people have adopted Buddhism as religion. But Buddhism, of course, is more than religion. But many people have taken this as religion as well. But even for those who have taken religion as religion, but then it doesn't give a central authority. It believes that there are gods and angels. Buddhism doesn't say that there are no gods or it is unethical, atheist. It still understands that there are gods and angels. But they have nothing to do with shaping your life. You are responsible for your own salvation and deeds and outcomes. Overall, Buddhist philosophy can be considered as the science of mind, always with compassion. It generates values that are universal on the basis that are fundamental to human experiences and consciousness. Dhammapad has started with a stanza about the mind. Mano upavangama dhamma, mano settham. So this is the Buddhist philosophy, or Buddha's philosophy, not Buddha's philosophy, rather Buddhist philosophy, which we can understand from education perspective and from the perspective of inculcating values among the youth. Now, youths, we have to understand youths, their conditions and the context. Nonetheless, youth is a phase of life, a phase of human life, which may be considered as the period of transition from Kishoravastha to adulthood. And everybody experiences, those who have passed that youth phase, like us, we have experienced many things, many changes, a very drastic change. And those who are coming to this youth stage, they are also experiencing changes day by day in terms of physical and in terms of psychological state of life. This is a very vigorous stage, very vigorous stage. Most drastic changes takes place in human life at this stage. Everything's come as new. It brings freshness, but sometimes very rashness also. We see many juvenile delinquencies. We see many crimes conducted by done by youths, knowingly, and in most cases unknowingly as well. They come with energy, such a full package of energy that it embodies a huge potentialities in terms of impacts on one's own life, as well as family, as well as society, nation, and the world. It is also a very crucial stage that shapes future course of development of life individually. They may aspire and endeavor to become a productive person. Many people dream of becoming doctors or engineers, teachers, administrators, planners, so on and so forth. But they may turn out to become something not foreseen, with positive or negative attributes as well, based on their attributes and actions, following the course of karma and karma vipaka, explained by Buddha. Whatever the course, they embody energy that can force changes in a society, and therefore they are the future of a society. Youths are future of a society. Of course, youths themselves are part of society, but moreover, as the nation, as a society, as the family moves ahead, the future comes with the youths. Now, in Nepal, the demographic structure of Nepal has very interesting characteristics. I believe it also applies in India and many of our South Asian neighbors, that we have a huge bulge of youths in our population distribution. Our population median age is 22 years, which is opportune for youth mobilization for development. If we can prepare these youths following Buddha's philosophy, as we have described above earlier, then we'll have a very, very beautiful place, very unique place, and very influential place, like it was 2000 years ago, or even 1500 years ago, or even 1000 years ago. Buddhism was in most part of the world that could be reached easily. 75% of Asia was covered by and governed by Buddhism. We can see Buddhism spread to Japan, to Korea, to China, to even to Indonesia, all over the world. So that had happened earlier. We have that potential even now. Having said this, but we are currently driven by the modernist development. And in the modernist development, we are measuring our society in terms of GDP, in terms of possession of goods, in terms of possession of this and that. And that way, we put ourselves in the poverty index at a lower state. But it is really challenging to really turn the wheel in the right direction, because youths in Nepal, it's not a homogeneous group. They come with many diversities. In fact, diversities are rather unique in Nepal's case. We have almost 125 social groups, many of them indigenous ethnic communities. Though small, we are about 30 million people, but nonetheless, we have 125 different communities, many of them ethnically different communities. And within these communities, we have a very unique influence of this South Asian culture, and that is caste. Hindu caste among Hindu communities. Of course, majority of population in Nepal are Hindus. Our population census shows 81%. And many other ethnic groups, though they are not Hindus, but then caste imposition have come on them as well, limiting across the society, actually inflicting social segregation and distrust. And many has even imitated this caste system. Buddhists constitute about 9% of the population nonetheless. And we have 123 language groups. About 14 of them have a significant population. Education status, so-so. We have about 60% of our youths at grade 12 level, higher secondary level, in the schools. 15% of our youths, university age people, in the universities. But then the challenge is that we have unemployment is a very big issue. Almost 12% are unemployed. and large proportion of our youths are underemployed. About 1/5 of our people lives below poverty line. So this is the scenario where our youths are living. They have to live with. Obviously, youths, as elsewhere in the world, generally need to struggle for finding a niche to ensure a respectable life in the society. Job, preparation for job seems singular concern of majority of youths everywhere in the world, and that includes Nepal as well. And this is reflected in the current condition of Nepal. We have huge outflow of youths in search of labor market elsewhere in other parts of the world. About 5 million people, they are outside country, working in many countries, looking for job as a labor, cheap labor, as a missionary army, as security guards, so on and so forth. Obviously, youths in Nepal also come with diverse perception, aspiration, and living conditions. However, and nonetheless, they share some common aspects, and they are born in the land of Buddha, where Buddha was born. They inherited the history of rise and fall of values given to Buddhism by state. And therefore, our youths, they respect Buddha, if not worship as the Lord. All, whether Hindu or whatever a religion, they all respect Buddha. Value being born in the land of Buddha. Everybody feels proud, and they give value that they are born in the land where Buddha was born. Respect and love to visit Buddhist shrines. Moreover, flexibility and adaptability is one of the strengths of Buddhism. It does not encourage for singular language or system, encourage diversity with only emphasis on the way, meditation, reflection, and analysis. This is also very important from education point of view, from the point of view that this could be a very good opportunity for bringing our youths into the line of Buddhism and Buddhist values. There is therefore high scope for studying Buddhist philosophy and following philosophy in shaping their lives. There is a potential and scope of educating the youths on the basis of Buddhist philosophy to enable them better understand the context, process, and dynamics of life, and prepare them with moral, attitude, skills, and knowledge required for ensuring peace, harmony, and prosperity in living with values and meaning that can be equated universally across the other individuals, communities, societies, and nations. Buddhist perspective and quest for life is very simple. Everybody can experience it in a very explicit way. Three keywords are very important, and that is bhava, bhaya, and dukkha. We have to live in the bhava, in the bhava sagar, in the world, and there we encounter bhaya, many bhayas, and of course we feel then dukkha. Buddha taught in a very vivid way how we can live with this kind of bhava, bhaya, and face dukkha. He has given in a very simple way the way for living, and that is Chatur Brahma Vihara. He has given a discipline, a conduct in the form of Panchashila, and he has given ways in training our life, in living our life in a very meaningful way, and that is Arya Ashtanga Marga. Buddha taught us to be mindful. Of course, we need to be mindful. Dhyana, samyak drishti, samyak smriti, samyak vyayam, samyak ajiva, such an important part and universal. Buddha also taught us the epistemology, how we can really understand them and how we can achieve them. The epistemology of pragya, shila, and samadhi. Pragya, in my understanding, is knowledge, wisdom, compassion combined in a proactive way. So it is proactive wisdom, ethical discipline, and focused concentration to observe the true nature of bhava, bhaya, and dukkha. And that leads us to understanding of pratitya samudpada. And that also leads us to how we can free ourselves from them by following Panchashila and Ashtamarga. So this Buddhist perspective in the context of quest of life is very straightforward and could be brought as a main streamlining approach for inculcating values among our youths. Actually, if we look at the global development, now the United Nations has started global campaign for sustainable development since 2015. And in sustainable development, if you look at the foundation of sustainable development, three things are emphasized there. And that is, in order to achieve sustainable development, societies need to be knowledge-based. Our societies need to follow knowledge. Knowledge is the main driver of this 21st century. However, this knowledge-based society is not sufficient. People who live in society, they need to be prepared to act on the knowledge. So we need ethical citizenship. Ethical citizenship. This is the second aspect emphasized by this global campaign. And third is sustainable development, saving our earth, saving our nature, saving humanity, bringing humanity to highest level, highest realm of life, meaningful life, will not be possible with the effort of one person, or one society, or even one country. Rather, it should be shared by everybody. So partnership is very important. If we look at the foundational aspect, this is not different from Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Buddha, knowledge; Dharma, ethics; and Sangha, partnership. And that way, in Nepal, particularly I coming from Lumbini Buddhist University, I'm so glad that I have opportunity to share this with you, that we are undertaking our courses following this Buddhist philosophy. Of course, our university is established to propagate Buddha's teaching, and therefore we are moving ahead with 4 strategies. First, we preserve and contextualize Buddhism and Buddhist culture and traditions. Second, we run professional and job-oriented entrepreneurial academic programs for the youths, following Buddhist philosophy and values. We only run those programs which comes within the framework of Buddhist philosophy and values. And third is interfacing with society through research and innovation for social transformation following Buddha's teachings. And the fourth is, of course, we have to network and collaborate with international scholars and institutions and the countries and societies. So this way we are moving ahead, and we are very hopeful that we will be able to really bring impact through our university activities in transforming our society and in inculcating Buddhist values among the youths. Now, I'm also hopeful because we have a rich cultural and historical background. Nepal, we have a dozen of almost 1 dozen sites of uh, importance listed as World Cultural Heritage. And out of that, 3 are Buddhist sites: Lumbini, the birthplace of Buddha, Swayambhu, and the Bodhanath. Now, this Kapil Vastu is also coming out. And the second is, we are still traditional. Many people see us from other perspective as backward. But nonetheless, our backwardness are anchored on our tradition and culture and values. If you look at the Himalayas, the whole Himalayan region, we have the monasteries, and the societies are anchored to monasteries. And these monasteries come with annual schedule of different cultural events, very beautiful events. And those events are the main reason why so many people around the world wants to come to Nepal, Himalayas, and be associated with those cultural events and be with people. So we can turn this into kind of a valuable asset. Similarly, if you look at the Kathmandu Valley, it used to be more temples than houses some 30 years ago. Even now, this Kathmandu Valley community, they have this vibrant living culture where Buddhism is practiced with music, with cultural rituals, and with almost all living practices. If you look at, again, even those people living in Kathmandu Valley, if you look from this modernist Baconian perspective of development, they may be termed as people which are sideline or which are set back. But nonetheless, if you look from a Buddhist perspective, if you look from cultural richness, if you look from humanity, human values, of course, they are living a very happy life and cheerful life. So these are some of the important aspects which we take home, and therefore we are very much hopeful that in the days to come, we'll be able to attract more academicians, researchers, tourists, and everybody, even to remote villages, because of all these lifestyles and because of the Buddhist traditions of dana, shila, chanti, which are so important. Tourists will not come to a hostile place. A place needs to be very peaceful and enjoyable, and people need to be cheerful to attract tourism. And tourism, Nepal has considered as one of the basic premise for our economic development. And this is where I think Buddhist values, Buddhist system, Buddhist tradition, Buddhist cultures are so much important in Nepal. The ways and means have substantiated the culture. Actually, our culture, these cultures, many of these cultures date back to Buddha's time. At least we have 2,000 years of written history, at least. This is important and valuable. And however, we have to think, I think the big challenge for us is how to prepare our schools, how to prepare our colleges and educational institutions to really visualize this, to really understand this, and bring our own uniqueness in leading the world as it was during the time of Buddha, during the time after Buddha, when Nalanda, Takshashila, Vikramshila, so many institutions really led the world in conceptualizing how we can develop a very peaceful, prosperous society and the countries. With this, I would like to end my presentation. Thank you very much for listening. Bhavatu Sabba Mangalam, Namaskara. Over to you. Thank you.